Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be able to make this speech for two reasons. One, I'm going first, which means I set the time limit. Nobody better speak longer than I do.
Oh, there's no worry of that, I don't think.
No. But most importantly, to congratulate the new Mr. and Mrs. Stewart, and I hope I can do that for all of you on their behalf. A really big welcome to all of you. Esther and John are absolutely delighted that so many could make it. Statisticians amongst you might be interested to know that 89.9% of the invitations were accepted. I think that's quite a good turnout, and it's all down to their popularity, I guess. Special welcome for those that have come a longer distance. John's grandparents and aunt and uncle from Angus, and Esther and John's families from Northern Ireland. So welcome to all of you.
Yay!
It's also very gratifying to see quite a few Scotsmen in formal attire, dressed properly, I hope, so that when the dancing happens, all will be shown as a flash of tartan and nothing else. Now, Esther and John really want you to enjoy your day here and the rest of the evening, and I trust that some of you have managed to book accommodation for a day or two so that you can enjoy our lovely Dorset. I have to tell you that by far the greatest effort in organising all this wedding is down to Esther and John. They've worked tirelessly for months, and especially in the last few days, from everything, producing homemade invitation cards, which I understand were wonderful, through helping me bring back booze from France, an overnight passage in thick fog.
It's terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
Interesting.
And it wasn't very nice, I must admit. And down to Esther and John working the other night up till God knows what time, rolling up napkins and things from the place. It was during this process that I realised that John was an aficionado, shall we say, of fermented apple juice.
Very few traits, but
he and I spent a happy day going around South Somerset, sampling various ciders from different outlets, and he finally made his choice. But I have to say that he was going to go for a weaker brew. He was looking for 3 to 4% because he thought it would be kinder. But he failed. He utterly failed because they don't make it like that down here. It is all 6 or 7%. So cider drinkers amongst you, beware. There's 120 litres of the loopy juice awaiting your delight inside. Now, to the bride. Doesn't she look? What are the superlatives? Radiant, beautiful, ecstatic, whatever. We think she's a very special person, and I shouldn't be looking at my card. But the old and senile brain, you know. Thankfully, John obviously thinks so as well.
my unbiased opinion.
Esther's one of those rare individuals with natural communication skills and a great empathy with people. She's got dozens of friends who happily I think now are also friends of yours. Esther's always had a great personality, and she's managed to entertain and amuse her friends from a very early age. She possesses a somewhat independent spirit, which means that she could not wait to get out into the big wide world. After uni, she took a number of little jobs to bring in cash, and I remember one of them was selling what were they? Vibrating massage. I haven't finished yet. Not yet. And apparently, she was so persuasive that a chap who'd had to drag his girlfriend away 3 times from her stall finally came over and offered her a job as a car salesman. So we said to Esther, well, you know, did you consider that? Oh no, she said, what do I know about cars? It was rather left us dangling as to what she knew about vibrating. It was not long after that she got her first proper job working for an IT company, and she came across something called the Nottinghamshire Hospice, and it was from that she started voluntarily working doing fundraising, and she realised that that was going to be her vocation, was raising money for charities. She's just left a youth charity where she's been for 4.5 years, and she's made them just over £1 million, I think.
Wow.
And after the honeymoon, and I'm not saying where it is, but after the honeymoon, she's coming back to work for the National Trust near Warminster, and she's looking forward to that, aren't you, dear?
Hello.
Yeah, and I'm sure she'll be a great success for the National Trust. Now, Esther's verbal skills are well known. But she does have a little trouble with the written word due to her dyslexia. And I remember one occasion, Esther and her mother were watching that French film with subtitles called Cyrano de Bergerac, and Gérard Depardieu has this line, something like, "I have lost everything, including my panache." And Esther, through her tears, was going, "Why is he talking about pancakes?" Well, now a little bit about John. I need to get in just a few positives. Before the best man opens the skeleton cupboard and reveals him for the scurrilous devil he I know that both sets of parents are absolutely delighted that Esther and John met, fell in love, and got married. Well done, Sarah Thomas, for the introduction.
Hey.
Yeah.
I was going to have a little bit in there, but I probably shouldn't.
Sarah.
Saying that we've waited quite a long time for Esther to find the right chap.
Good things come to those
And all the things
I'm going to need more of
which come to those who wait. And John is certainly an excellent choice. Hard-working, considerate, dare I say it without embarrassing, an incurable romantic. Now, you soon get an insight into someone's character in a boat. And John certainly proved himself as a novice sailor. If I can just tell you, if I could just tell you without boring the non-sailors amongst you, we were passing up to Alderney, and my choice, we went through an area called the Ortac Channel, and if you go through that with no tide and no wind, it's a perfectly safe passage. But I got it wrong. I got there early, there was a tide, there was wind, and the seas were short and steep and breaking, and the boat was pitching and burying its nose in, and it was really quite scary. And John, bless him, was up in the cockpit with me, and he didn't bat an eyelid. Although
Too busy
I heard
crying.
later that he was telling his mates in the pub that he was absolutely brilliant.
You need to put a calm face on things.
You did. And I think that shows a great strength of character to be able to lift one's fear. Now, friends of John will know of his predilection for cosmetic metalwork. I'm afraid I've never been down this line myself. I'm sure you wouldn't expect me to. But they do tell me that the odd bolt and ring through the anatomy in a wife's eyes prepares a man for marriage. He's experienced game, and he knows about buying jewellery. John, when you get your turn, mother-in-law jokes will be all right, providing I find them funny. Now I get to the bit where I'm sailing into treacherous and hazardous waters, I think. And it's that section of my speech which deals with advice to the young married couple. To continue the nautical theme, I would like to compare married life to sailing a boat. Don't sail too close to the wind with each other, for that way lies lack of progress and a lot of flapping. And when everything is nice and the sun is shining and you're sailing downwind, don't relax, for mood like the wind can change, cause a jibe, and we all know that jibes.
Where's the Scott?
You will in your marriage have the odd autark channel moment where things get a bit rough, but providing the tide of love is running strongly, you'll soon pass through and into calmer waters beyond.
Very nice.
Now, Esther, I have pleasure in handing over the duty of family sage and oracle. John is now your new oracle. Remember, the oracle is always
Right.
So on the rare occasions when he's wrong, bite your tongue, for wounded male pride takes a long time to recover. And John, Esther will do and say things at times to you are completely irrational. Do not try and understand what makes her tick, because the mechanism of that particular clock you will never understand. And if you wander into that maze, you'll never get out of it. Some very old friends of ours who are about to celebrate their 50th anniversary provided this little piece from Ogden Nash. To keep your marriage brimming with love in the loving cup, whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, shut up. And I think I ought to do that now before my wife tells me to practice what I preach. But before I do, pinch my glass. Now that is a crippler.
Have we got a glass?
Something else. Thank you very much, Beth. I would like to propose a toast to Esther and John. May they have health, happiness,